So good morning, my lovelies. Let's start our practice at the top of our mat. We can just give ourselves a moment to plant the feet, how we'd like to plant the feet. We can let the hands come to our heart, and we start our practice with those 3 deep breaths. That deep inhale, and that deep exhale. Repeating that deep inhale, and exhale. And we just do one more at our own pace. And maybe as we do so, we start to do a little sway side to side and just noticing how the pressure changes from one foot to the other. And then we can put some weight into that left foot. We can soften the knees, maybe a little pressing down of just that left foot. We might find that right heel just starts to come up. As we're ready, we're coming into our warrior 2 pose. So we can start to lift up that right leg. That right leg comes behind us. The heel finds the ground. The rib cage opens. The hands come out, and we just adjust the feet however we need to. Not worrying too much about whether or not we have heel to arch alignment, heel to heel alignment. Listen to your hips, what's working. Checking in, making sure the knee's over the ankle. Good rule of thumb is if we can look down and see at least the big toe, we're in good shape. We give ourselves a moment here. That deep breath in. That deep breath out. And then we can come into our flying warriors. On that inhale, we'll start to straighten that front leg and the arms can start to reach. As we're ready, we're going to come back down, warrior 2. We'll start to repeat that, inhaling to come up. Exhaling to come down. Repeating this now at our own pace, listening to our breath. If we would like to, maybe as we're coming up, we start to press that front foot into the mat, pushing it so much into the mat that that's what straightens the leg. And then we let that foot relax as we come back down. We'll do that one more time, straightening, coming back down, pausing here for that deep breath. And then we'll come into reverse warrior, thinking of lifting up the rib cage, and eventually we start to tilt back. That back hand's going to find the back leg. That top hand can start to reach up. It might like to reach up and over. Remembering we don't get any gold stars if we crank ourselves backwards, just noticing the stretch that feels good along the front of our torso. And if we'd like, maybe we start to press that front foot into the mat so much it straightens that front leg. We find reverse triangle. Great time to practice straightening the leg without necessarily locking out that knee. One more breath here, and we'll rebend that knee. Inhaling back to our warrior 2. And then we're coming into extended side angle. So bending both elbows, we're going to play around with how we get into this pose. We're going to take that front forearm to our front thigh. We're going to put a deep bend in that back arm. And then almost like a swimmer's crawl, we're going to extend that arm, and it might extend up. It might extend up and over. Great time to see, is it comfortable to let the palm face more or less us or face the floor? If we would like to play around with triangle pose from here, we're going to come back to that front foot. Can we press that foot so much into the mat the leg starts to straighten? We might find ourselves in a bit of a hovering triangle pose. It might be a little bit different than what we're used to. If we would like to, we can think about that front hip crease, that left hip crease starting to shift back, and that might make it a little easier to come down. Again, great time to check in. Can we straighten that leg without locking out the knee? One more breath here, and as we're ready, we're going to rebend that knee. We're going to come all the way back up to our warrior 2. And then we're coming to the top of our mat. So maybe we press into that left foot, the right foot springs off. We bring the hands to the heart. Well, you might want to shake out the legs a little bit. Maybe we give ourselves a moment to close the eyes. Again, maybe a little shifting of the feet, just noticing where the pressure lands. Our chance to come back to the breath if we lost it. And then as we're ready, we're shifting that weight into the right foot. Again, a little softening of the knees, a little pressing of that foot down, and we might find it gets a little easier to lift up that left heel. As we're ready, we're finding warrior 2 on the opposite side. So we're bringing up that left foot. We bring that foot behind us. The heel finds the ground. Rib cage opens. Hands go parallel with the floor. Again, we might need to readjust our feet. That's perfectly fine. That's why our mats are made out of plastic and not cement. We can move our feet. And then we can come into those flying warriors. So as we're ready, we're going to inhale, straightening that front leg. Those arms can reach. Exhaling, we can let those hands come down. We might even like to bend and straighten the elbows. This is our choice. What would we like to do? We'll inhale as we come back up to reach. We'll exhale, warrior two. We'll do that a few more times at our own pace and just noticing what's working for us. And again, if we want to bend and straighten those elbows, we bend and straighten the elbows. If we like to focus on that front foot, maybe thinking of pressing that foot so much into the mat that that's what's straighten the legs. It might be activating slightly different muscles than we're used to, then we do that. We'll do that one more time in full. Coming back to that warrior two. And then as we're ready, reversing the warrior. We're letting the rib cage lift up and back. Eventually that back hand found the back leg. Top hand can start to reach. We might like to reach it up and over. Again, this is our pose, making sure this is a shape that works for us, not a shape we cranked ourselves into and hoped for the best. And then maybe we start to press through that front foot and we start to straighten that leg. We find reverse triangle. One more breath here, and then as we're ready, we're rebending that knee. We're inhaling back to that warrior two. And then we play around with extended side angle. We're going to soften both of those elbows. That front forearm's coming to the front thigh. And again, a bit of a swimmer's crawl. We bend and straighten the arm. Can we still breathe? If we would like to play with triangle pose, again, thinking of that front foot, can we press it so much into the mat that that's what straightened our leg? Maybe we stay in this hovering triangle position, or maybe we let that front hip crease start to travel back, and it might get a little easier to come back down. Again, making sure we're not locking out the knee here. Those tendons behind the knees do not need that stretch. And then as we're ready, we're rebending the knee, inhaling back to a warrior two. And coming back to the top of our mat, maybe anchoring down with that front foot, a little push off with the back foot. The hands are coming to the heart. We breathe. We seal in our practice with those 3 deep breaths, that deep inhale, that deep exhale. Repeating that, our deep inhale, and exhale. Doing one more at our own pace, doing as many as we would like at our own pace. Because that is it for now, my lovelies. Stay balanced.